There we go. Testing out the live stream setup. Gonna start doing some lives here on the channel, but I'm working on an interesting project here today. Figured why not to stream it here. So, quick kind of to catch you up. What I'm working on is actually building out this custom diagnostic tool. Most of what I do for people, whether it's coaching or clients or whatnot, is all around diagnostics. Typically, people are running ads, running funnels, whatnot, but things aren't working and they don't really know why. And the goal here is to sort of put me into a tool. So I'm working on this custom tool. I don't even know that I would say vibe coding. It's been more of a directed development. Like this isn't just go into Claude Code and do something. This isn't like a build and lovable. Like I'm really trying to grow my skill set, and this has been super brain numbing and brain bending, but it's also been really cool and I'm learning a lot. So basically how this is built, like this is its own thing hosted on Vercel through I'm using a GitHub repository connected to Claude Code to write the code, and then I am having Claude in another window here. This one here. So this is sort of like my directed development window that Claude is sort of helping guide me. And then over here, I have Claude Code up that's doing the actual dev work, and then that pushes to the GitHub repository, which then I update, which then goes live on Vercel to deploy and actually goes onto the server. So it's been cool, but right now where we're kind of at with this is today I finalized the actual Go high level application. So I don't even know if I've got so many windows and tabs up, but here it is. So yeah, I actually finalized the Go high level application. So we have an app on the Go high level developer marketplace, which then I was able to link to the integrations tab here in this custom tool. It's called Cellcath, which it just needed the name, and that was the nickname I used to call my dog as a kid, so went with it. And right here you can see we were actually able to connect the integration right here through Go high level. So this was like I've been pulling like 12-hour days, and this was a long process. First, trying to do it through tokens and API keys, only to then realize that that was not the best way to do it in order to pull the data that I needed to aggregate and populate here. And then we had to go through this whole OAuth process to build the app inside of the Go high level marketplace. And then get it so when someone's in here, they can come into integrations, just click the button, and Go high level will pop up. If they're not logged in, they can just log in and select their sub account. If they are logged in, it will just automatically pull their info depending on the sub account that they chose. And then it will pull data. So like if I come in here to the cockpit, it's actually linking all of the different funnels I have in the sub account to pull data from. So what we're working on right now, what I was just working on is I'm working on a Meta integration. So it can actually just pull all of the information from their Meta ads as well and to run the diagnostic. And I just submitted the app to Meta for review and did all that verification and whatnot. So I have to wait like 2 to 5 days for that to be approved, hopefully, fingers crossed. And that's where we're at there. And the whole diagnostic system is all built on this very detailed decision tree. I published a short today basically talking about 2 different types of prompting with AI. So one of them being extraction prompting. So basically, I was just using Claude to go through. It was like a 90-minute, maybe 2-hour process of just extracting all of my frameworks for diagnosis on ads, funnels. Obviously, there's a lot of different types of funnels, different types of offers. So we had to go through all these different things, and we built out all of these decision trees and all of this logic, which is all embedded into the back here of this system. So, sorry, just reading something. So basically the goal is somebody can run their funnel, ads, etc. through this custom software and essentially get as accurate or a better diagnosis than I would give them on a call. And what's cool is one of the things I'm going to be setting up are these triggers. So this is why it's so important for it to be pulling in data, is somebody can pull in the data from their funnel and their ads and all that, and then these notifications and triggers will essentially be looking at all the data in real time and tell them, okay, so this funnel just reached X amount of cold traffic. Now is the time to start retargeting. Or, hey, your sales have dropped off by X% in the past 7 days, right? So basically, for the people that are always, because it's a lot to figure out all of this stuff, especially if you're just getting started. So the people that are kind of feel like they're flying blind, they'll have this dashboard, this tool that will essentially just be like their not only accountability partner, but almost like their coach and their guide. But the thing is, it's not just AI slop. Like, it's all from my brain in the past, I don't even know how many years of me doing this stuff. And from like 2+ years now of running weekly coaching calls for a ton of different people and a ton of different communities and groups. So it's all based on like real data and information and strategy and decision trees, which is cool. And one thing I'm working on as well is this AI chat. So this is basically like Mark, me, and a chat. So you can like ask it, right? How should I structure my meta ads? How many ad sets, creatives, and it's going to run through it. Like, what is this is me testing, like, what is a good hook, right? Or what is a hook, right? Like, so the goal here is just to give people a tool that can give them the agency to just like scale and build without feeling just so overwhelmed, because it can be super overwhelming to learn funnels, ads, all this stuff. So that's what I'm working on here, and it's been a fun project. Like I said, it's been super brain numbing and super fun. But so what I'm doing right here over in Claude is we were just working through all of this updated decision logic for the diagnostic. But the way that it built it out, because right now I'm just going to be doing manual inputs just to test things out and make sure all of the decision logic and whatnot and the outputs are really, really good, because if they're not really, really good, then it's not useful. So I need to make sure ultimately that they're really, really good and really helpful. But the way that it initially had it set up was like having you answer all these questions, and like there's a bunch of stuff on here that you don't need, and this is just not good UI or UX. So we just had Claude Code completely rewrite everything. So this just pushed to the GitHub repository. So I'm going to come in here to my GitHub repository, and I'm just going to push this live. There, I'm going to commit the files. I'm going to push it. And now here in Vercel, which I know you can't see, but there's just certain things that I'm not going to show just for sensitivity and whatnot. But what I'm doing right now is Claude Code wrote the code. Claude Code is linked to the GitHub repository. I then commit the files there. I push it then like to Vercel, which is hosting the whole platform. And Vercel is now launching the latest build of the platform. And once Vercel is ready, I will go in and we will actually see it updated here, which is cool. So I'm just gonna give it a minute here. All right, it's pushed live, so let's see if I come in here to browser and refresh. And now if I come in here, I can pick any of these. This is really just a test. Click next. Say it's a low ticket. Okay, cool. So you saw that other form that was just like this long, super, annoying, like stressful looking form. So what I asked it to do, one of the things is not only change some of the logic and change the actual questions and whatnot, but I asked it to actually make it like a type form style. So a one question at a time. Now it's still asking 3 out of 15 questions. I still think 15 is too much, but the goal is that once the meta integration and everything is dialed in and some of the other Go high level stuff is dialed in, that a lot of that will be auto populated. So some of the questions it's going to ask me now, like price and ad information and whatnot, will automatically be pulled in by Meta once the integrations are live and the app is live. So what I'm going to do is sort of fill this out with some dummy data. So we'll do $99 for a price. And I have this written down because I want it to be not just two random numbers, but somewhat. So we're going to do 509 ad spend. CTA, so like this. I need to fix some of this stuff here, but it's fine. Right now I'm just testing outputs. So we'll do like 2.3 manually. How many different ad creatives? We'll do 20. How many people visited your sales page? So I'm gonna do 460. How many clicked through your order to your checkout page? We're gonna do a 98. Of those who reached your checkout page, how many completed their purchase? So I'm gonna go like real low because I want to see what it spits back. What's the average amount each customer spends per order, including any add-ons? Let's just say there's no add-ons. Do you have any extra offers that appear on the checkout page? No. Do you offer anything else to buy immediately after the main purchase? No. What percentage of customers have asked for a refund? This I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to make a note of this because anything like this, like anything that people won't know right off the top of their head, unless it's absolutely essential, like a CTR or something like that, we want to avoid because I want to avoid all friction. And personally, like this isn't super in line with my logic, so let's just say 0 because we won't even be using this. Here's all the data, run diagnostic. Here's what you entered. Diagnosis, primary bottleneck, checkout to purchase. Here's what's working, creative count, sales page, checkout. Your CTR is 2.3, that's solid. Layer 1 creative volume. You have 20 creatives running strong creative volume. The algorithm has what it needs, so that's good. That's in alignment with what I would be telling people. Sales page to checkout. Your sales page to checkout rate is 21.3. Strong move to checkout. Layer 2. And like this stuff too, like this seems to be like assuming somebody has no idea what's going on, right? That's how we always want to build things. So even somebody who's just super green, brand new, they have no idea what's what. I want them to be able to land on this and just know what it is. So a lot of this is just going to be working through on the UI and UX side. But let's see. Layer 4, AOV versus front end. AOV is 99 on the front end. You have almost no monetization beyond initial purchase. So again, yeah, like that's definitely in line with what I would tell somebody. It's always important to increase AOV and LTV. Layer 5, core value signal, strong CTR, strong page flow, but only 7.1% purchase rate. This is a core value problem. Priority actions. Fix sales page, offer clarity proof button, fix checkout, reduce friction, fix offer economics. Okay, so decent output so far. A lot of work to do, long way to go, but I'm gonna go ahead and screenshot this, and then I'm going to actually run through the questions again, but I'm going to paste this into my Claude directed dev and say, here is what I got from my test use case. And then I want to go through the numbers here, or the questions here, and see what's what. Price of your offer, how much you spent on ads total. This should be specific to this offer. Ad spend question should be for the selected offer and made clear. Let's just say $1,000. Percentage of people who see your ad and are clicking on it. We need to make this more clear what it is. To make this more clear what it is. Also, label, have CTR label, and also how/where to find it. The goal is ultimately, once this has even in it's not even in its MVP format yet, not really even close, but once it is, the goal will be to make it super easy, so like my 5-year-old son could go through it, right? So, and it's just going to be like a video of like, here's how to find your CTR, right? We want to make it super crystal clear. Well, actually no, we won't even need that because Meta, I keep forgetting, Meta's going to pull all this, so we won't even need that. Cool, beautiful. And that's the real value there, assuming we can get the Meta app approved. Then Meta will just pull the CTR, and we're going to have them select the campaign. All right, so here's what I'm actually going to say. I'm just going to tell Claude. Once the Meta Ads integration is live, the user will not need to input Meta Ads data, correct? We'll need to make it so they can select the Meta Ad campaign to automatically aggregate and pull data. So I'm just going to confirm that, because assuming that's the case, which that's the whole point here, and Meta, that should be fine. That shouldn't be an issue. Then that'll be perfect, because how it will sort of work here is you'd come in to run the diagnostic. You'd be like, all right, it's for this funnel, and it's from this ad account. And then it's going to pull what it can from this funnel for go high level, and you'll select like a date range. And then it's going to pull what it can from Meta, and then Meta will put in the Meta information. So the goal is that this will mostly be automated, which will be excellent. Yeah, so here Claude says, yes, exactly. Once Meta approved and integrated, CTR and ad spend auto-populate from the selected campaign. User won't touch those fields. But look what just happened. The diagnostic output is working. I can see layer by layer breakdown, primary bottlenecks identified, checkout to purchase, primary actions listed, health score, 48 of 100, specific numbers called out. That's marked diagnostic engine firing. That's the value. How does the output read to you? Does it sound like Mark? Does it feel accurate? Yes, some things were definitely on brand for me. A few things we'll need to fix. I think that we have some fundamental UX and UI things we need to improve. For example, the layer by layer breakdown. I think we need to make the messaging far more clear. I think it needs to be perhaps more visual. The idea is that somebody who's brand new and super green can see it and undeniably understand what they're looking at and how to move forward from there. We want to keep things away from being too technical. 1 second. All right, cool. That's the most important feedback you've given all day. The engine works, and now we need to make the output undeniably clear. Before we touch any code, let me understand what clear looks like to you. Think about when Mark diagnoses someone live in inner circle. What does that look like visually? Simple traffic light, red, yellow. 1 sentence for each, a card per layer. That's an interesting question because everyone is different. And one of the things that makes my calls valuable and useful is I'm typically able to meet people where they're at and get a good idea of where they're at. I think the best way to look at it here is a 5-year-old should be able to understand it. It should just be crystal clear, like, here's your problems ranked by severity and importance, and perhaps give them a checklist of what to fix, and maybe a drop down that gives them information or details on how to fix that. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think that we should test a few things based on your best judgment on all of our decision trees and all of the conversations that we've been having. And once I see it, it'll click for me, and I think I'll be able to know that that's the right move. Whisper. There we go. And then I also want to add, but ultimately, we're going to have to run test users through it and make sure it clicks for them, and run users through who are at a variety of different skill levels. I got to turn Discord off. It just keeps beeping at me. So we'll see what it comes back with here. And this is a little bit of the difference, I guess, between like a vibe code and a directed development. I do a lot of vibe coding, and I love vibe coding, but this has definitely been a bit different. So we're going to give Claude a minute here, but let me pop back into this and just keep poking around. So let's test out the chat a little bit. I haven't really played around much with the chat. I did an initial test. If my course is $47, what should my AOV be on average? What's my KPI to shoot for? Let's see what it comes back and says. We'll ask it a few different questions. Vibecode Diary says, hey, first time here. I liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, Vibecode Diary. Cool to actually see somebody watch and interact in the chat. Awesome. Appreciate you very much. Hope you enjoy. But I really appreciate that. All right, so it says, here's exactly what your number should look like. Your baseline core offer, $47 as your starting point. Selling at 47 flat is a losing. All right, so this is great because this is what I tell people all the time. This feels like me. It sounds like me. So losing game on paid traffic, you need to stack revenue. I was just telling somebody this today. You need to increase AOV. You need to increase LTV. The stack you need, order bump. So again, like, this is cool that it's giving all this information, but this is too much information, ultimately. Like, the person just asked for AOV on average. You know, I'm going to get just some notes going for this. Because the user just asked for AOV on average, and it's giving them all of this stuff, which, while it does sound like me, and in the context of an actual call, I think we would get to this conversation. But for a user that's just like, hey, I'm just starting out, what should my AOV be? And then it's like, you need an order bump and an upsell and this and that. They're going to be like, whoa, like, now I'm overwhelmed and I want to stop. So asked chat about AOV KPI, returned way too much info. Info was solid, but not what was asked, and too overwhelming. The math that matters. Your cost per purchase is $4. AOVs making it $7 per customer, and that's not a business, it's a hobby. Yeah, so like, this is solid info, but again, I think it's just too much. How many creatives per ad set should I run if I'm spending? I'm terrible at typing, if you haven't noticed. That's why I should be using Whisperflow. $30 a day. Again, like, I feel like a lot of these outputs are almost too much. $3 a day, you do not have enough budget to test 5. Like, I never said anything about 5 creatives. So I think we really need to make this a lot more conversational and less. Vibe code diary. I vibe coded a sick Chrome extension and it got approved within 24 hours. That's awesome. I would love to see it. If you don't mind, put the name in the chat. I would love to check it out. I love Chrome extensions. I'm a big Chrome extension guy. Any Chrome extension that I can use that will save me time, I'm always going to use it and promote it. So I'd love to see it. Even if it's not something I can use in my day-to-day, I would still love to see what you built. That's awesome. Congrats. My Claude chat over here for my directed development has just completely been smoked, I think. It's just stalled out. I've got an unbelievable amount of tabs and things running and agents running and all kinds of stuff, so I think I'm probably just pushing a bit too much at the same time, plus the live, but it's all good. So yeah, again, right, like, these outputs continue to just be too much. So open my note back up. Same issue, asking about creatives on a set budget. Needs to be more conversational. I don't know why I'm not just using Whisperflow here. Conversational, less overwhelming outputs, direct answers, then guidance. I'm going to make a just general note. The general vibe I'm getting right now from the AI chat is that while the info is good and sounds like me, it's too much. It's just word vomit. Too much, too fast. It's going to be overwhelming. It's going to do more harm than good. We need to directly answer the question, and then after that, we can give context and strategy. The reason I say this, to the chat is that, or on these notes, is that one of the worst things, there's my camera, I gotta fix the delay on my camera here, but one of the worst things you can do, like if you're coaching somebody or trying to help somebody, is if they ask a simple question, you go and give them way too much information, then they just feel stressed. They're like, I came for an answer, And I got all this information, which in theory is great, but now I just feel more overwhelmed. It's like if you go, like you have an issue with your car and you go and you're like, ask your buddy who's a mechanic, hey, how do I change my oil? And he's like, well, here's how you, oh, actually, I noticed this, and this, so let's take apart the whole engine, right? You're like, whoa, like, dude, that's not what I asked. Like, I just want to change my oil. So that's what we want to avoid here. Allows you to watch YouTube videos while vibe coding, not having to be on the YouTube tab. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to check that out for sure. I was actually, so I've got 2 big screens. I have a third one over here. But I'm running into a typical Mac display port issue, so I need to get a dock before I can get this one going. But I was trying to watch a YouTube video today while I was working on some stuff, and I was like, where do I put it? I couldn't fit the tab somewhere, so I'm going to check that out. That sounds awesome. Really, really cool that you made that. Congrats on the deployment. I hope that it is a massive success. Very, very cool. I'm going to check that out for sure. All right, so let's see. What about your 3 hook ideas right now? Send them. See, like, I feel like it's just assuming too much. It doesn't feel natural. It's almost like it's trying to force the person on like a set conversational path. So it's just throwing out all these things that they didn't ask about. So let me add that. AI chat feels like it's forcing the chatter on a conversational path regardless of what they ask. It's just picking a bucket, throwing them into that category. For example, I asked about ad budget, and now it's asking me what my 3 hook ideas are right now. Now, did it give after 3 days? So yeah, I mean, it's giving good info, but again, it's just too much. I'm trying to get my the Claude here. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So Claude it seemed like Claude just fell asleep at the wheel here for a second, but I just reprompted it, and now it's good. All right, it says, it's back to the output redesign. Here's what I'm thinking about. Already 15 users, Vibe Code Diary. That's awesome. Congrats. I will probably be number 16. That is awesome. Congrats. I hope that 15 turns into 1,500 before you know it. And then 15,000. Congrats. That is awesome. It's always cool to build something from scratch, bring idea to life, and then people use it. So that is no small feat. 15 users is a huge accomplishment for something you just built. So excellent. All right, let's see. It says, sorry, here's what I'm thinking for output redesign. The clearest possible structure for a complete beginner. One big verdict. Your checkout is broken. Everything else is secondary. Plain language, no jargon, bold and impossible to miss. Middle, rank list of problems like a doctor's report. Each one has red, yellow, green indicator. One sentence saying what's wrong in plain English. How to fix dropdown. Checklist, literally checkboxes they can tick off as they fix things. Fix your checkout page headline, add money back guarantee, etc. I think that's a good starting point. So I'm going to have it build out the Claude code prompt. And this is, I mean, I talk a lot about this, but I'm always surprised how many people don't use AI to prompt AI, right? So like Claude knows how Claude code wants to be prompted in the context of what we're working on. So that's why I have my Claude window open as sort of my directed development assistant. And then I have the actual Claude code open where I take that directed development information and put it in. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and copy. We'll bring this over to Claude Code now, paste it in. That's going to go do its thing. And then once that's live, we'll push to GitHub. commit the files, push to Vercel, and then we'll see what it looks like. See how long it takes. So while it's doing its thing here, we'll come back and play around a little bit more with some ideas. So let me ask it like a super simple question. Assuming I came in here and knew nothing, and I asked, is 0.4 CTR good? Which it's not. No, okay, good. No, CTR is not good. But again, like well, like in some cases, maybe all of this output isn't bad. Like in a context like this, it might be okay. But let's see what it's putting out here. Let me respond to a message real quick. All right. No, 0.4 CTR is not good. It is broken. Very true. Out of every 1,000 people who saw your ad, 4 clicked. Yikes! 96 out of every 100 people looked at your ad and kept scrolling. So like this is good framing, right? Because some people might not really understand what a CTR is. So I really like this framing. I think this is solid. Where it sits on the benchmark, 0.4 CTR broken, not close to acceptable, minimum viable 1.0, where you need to be at 1.5 plus, you're less than halfway. At 0.4, 2.3x what it should. Yeah, so this is pretty solid. And now this makes more sense, right? So let's say someone just completely ignores that and then is like, what should I do to fix it? Let's see what it comes back with. Oh, and well, before I look at that, oh nope, Claude Code's still cranking. All right, so send me your current ad hook first, and just exactly what you're running. What to send me. If it's video ad, the first line spoken or the first text. If it's a static image ad, the first line of copy. I think this could definitely be improved, but this will be, honestly, so it wasn't even what I was planning on doing right now. I'm just doing it well. Claude Code does its thing. All right, so Claude Code just finished. I'm opening up GitHub, committing 2 files, pushing those files to Vercel. Let's go to my deployments here on Vercel. And it should be building. So I'm just going to continue with this, assuming I'm completely green. What is a hook? I'm not understanding. A hook is the first 3 seconds of your ad. That's it. Why it matters. Okay, I mean, it's keeping the context here of the 0.4 CTR, which is good. So for like a version, like the first version, this is decent. A long way to go, but that's the point. I think what's a lot of fun about building stuff like this is it's a great way to learn. You can learn theory all day and watch videos and stuff all day, but get out and build stuff, like Vibe Code Diary, where you were saying you went out and you built a Chrome extension. You got 15 people using it. It's freaking awesome. Like, you could have just watched videos all day and thought about, I want to build this thing, but you went and built it, and now people use it. Like, that's awesome, and I bet you learned a lot from it, and I bet the next thing you built is going to be even better, and then even better, and then even better. And that's the way to do it. So if anybody does see this, and you got something you want to build, stop watching videos about how to build it and theorizing about it, and go ahead and build it. Even if it doesn't work out, you'll be a lot closer than you were. Then the next time, I bet it will work out. So Vercel just pushed live, so let's come back here to the cockpit. And I don't know. I gotta change that name. I've never liked the word cockpit. I don't know. All right, let's check this out now. Okay, so where's the test funnel? So these are actually all the funnels in this Go High Level sub account. This was such a pain to get right. I think I spent 4 hours, like the whole morning into early afternoon, on just the Go High Level integration, getting it right, debugging. But we finally got it. All right, so let me pull up those numbers I was using before. Where was that? Okay, here it is. $99. I think we had a 2.3 CTR. Oh wait, did I just get the? How much you spent? How much you spent on ads? Got ahead of myself. Let's say $922. 2.3 CTR. Manual. Just go 20. How many people visited sales page? I had 460. And then 98. Of those, how many completed the purchase? We had 7. What's the average amount? 99. No. What percentage of customers asked for a refund? I think we can get rid of this. I'm just gonna tell it right this right now. 0. I don't love how this looks right here either. Like how it just shows all this stuff. I get that it's like the double checking thing, but I think that at least like when I go through it, I expect it to just populate right away. Remove. Maybe we'll bring this back, but I think at least for now we won't. But the UI of it, I just don't really like. Run funnel diagnostic. All right, this is a lot better for sure. Checkout to purchase, the verdict, checkout to purchase. Here's what's working. I'm just gonna tell. I'm just giving you a bunch of feedback right now. Then you can give me one master prompt for Claude Code. Just telling that to my directed development assistant here. Okay, I think this was where it says the verdict, checkout to purchase. It's not super clear on why it says that there. It should say the funnel name or make it clear what this is for. It doesn't say you have a serious checkout to purchase or whatever you're trying to get across here. It's not super clear. We want to keep confusion and remove friction. So right now I'm just giving the directed development assistant a bunch of feedback. Your checkout to purchase rate is 7.1%. 1%. That is a fraction. That is a friction problem. People are arriving at. All right, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Check checkout element placement on mobile. That needs context. I know what it's talking about because I tell people this all the time. Basically, what it's getting at is that a lot of people, when they build their Go High Level checkouts, and as I start this off, right, like this MVP version, it's focused around Go High Level because everybody that I coach and talk to is using Go High Level. We'll add in more integrations later on, but that's the case right now. So I'm building it for my average ICP. So a lot of times on Go High Level, people build their checkout page and they put the checkout element on the right and the builder, and then they put like their value proposition and their guarantee and all this stuff on the left because it looks better on desktop. And a lot of people build desktop first, which is a major problem. The issue here is on mobile. By default in Go High Level, whatever is on the left-hand side of your page when you're looking at your screen shows up first on mobile. So if someone wants to buy your product and they click checkout, they're not going to see the checkout form on mobile. They're going to see your value stack, your reviews, your money back guarantee, and they have to scroll to get to the checkout, which is friction. They're like, I just saw all this stuff. I want to give you my money, but you're making it harder, so I'm just going to bounce. Right? And any little bit of friction is going to lose you customers. So this is what it's getting at, because I tell people this all the time. You've got a few different options. You can either, A, just swap those elements. So in your builder, when you're looking at your screen, your checkout's on the left, your other stuff's on the right. Or you can duplicate the section, hide your main one on mobile, and then make a duplicate and hide that one on desktop, which is switched, right, if you want to have the best of both worlds. Or you can just throw in some custom code that will swap it on mobile. But most people aren't doing any of those things, and as a result, they're just adding needless friction on their checkout. So that's what it's talking about, but that needs more context. So I'm just going to send it a screenshot here. And let's see. For the number one priority, it says your checkout purchase rate is 7.1%, and then below it says 1%. That is a friction problem. That 1% seems like it's out of context. For the how to fix, checkout element placement on mobile, I understand exactly what you're getting at, but the user will not, and we need to make it crystal clear for the user. Verify guarantee is visible. We could also add verify money back guarantee is visible, or add if you don't have one. Again, I think context is crucial here. We need to, again, like my 5-year-old son, assuming he could read, should be able to see this and know what we're talking about. Remove any unnecessary form fields. This is critical and crucial. I love it. But again, think about my 5-year-old son. We need to have a little bit more context. Someone's going to see this and not understand what that means, or not understand that the more fields, the lower the conversion. So I think this is a really good upgrade, but we need to add context for complete beginners around all of these to make it dummy proof. Your AOV is 99 on a 99 front end. You have almost no monetization beyond the initial purchase. You cannot profitably scale paid traffic at this AOV. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, you can, but I get what it's saying. Number 2, AOV. I don't know that I would say you cannot profitably scale paid traffic at this AOV. I personally have done it, but obviously it has to be a rock star offer and everything has to be really high level. So I think maybe we frame this as more of a recommendation versus giving an absolute. I want to shy away from giving absolutes because there are always exceptions. But we want to give strong recommendations. Also, around the order bump, I think we could give some context on what a winning order bump looks like. For example, it's a logical next step, goes hand in hand, it's a no-brainer, shortcut, enhancement, or next step to the thing they just purchased. Love the target AOV, that's excellent. I think it could say your target AOV should be closer to strong CTR, strong page flow. For number 3, it says fix now, but then it gives multiple positives. I think we should reframe it a little bit. Core value proposition. I'm not loving number 3 personally. I think it could cause more confusion than anything else. Your next steps in this exact order. Fix sales page, headline offer clarity proof. And I have a lot of ideas of what I'm going to do with these like next steps and whatnot. And I want to give people basically like when they log in, it's going to almost be like an accountability thing. Like, hey, yesterday you ran this diagnostic and here's what we determined. Like, where are you at? What have you done? Right. And even like email reminders like, hey, have you fixed your sales page? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've hopped on calls with people like week after week, and they come back with the same problem, and they haven't fixed what we talked about, 3 weeks ago, and what I've told them to fix every week. So just continuing to push on that is really crucial. The goal here is not to make people feel good. I certainly don't want to make people feel bad, which is why we're trying to be intentional with how we phrase things. But ultimately, I want to help people have success. They're putting a lot of work in, and I want them to reap the rewards. And that doesn't come from just telling them what they want to hear. It comes from giving them the actual fix and making sure they implement the fix. So that's going to be a whole nother element. I always catch myself saying a whole nother, but I don't think another is a word. A whole other element. All right. Fix checkout, reduce friction. I'm gonna make a note of this on my notes. I'm not in the go high or not in the direct feedback right now, but I do want to make a note so I don't forget. We want to email to-dos, check in for accountability. Also on the dashboard, we should have a to-do list ranked by priority. Additionally, if someone has an outstanding to-do list and is trying to run other diagnostics, I think we should have some type of warning like, hey, are you sure you want to run this diagnostic? You have outstanding items for X. Do not change your ads. They're working. The problem is downstream. This is good, right? I can't tell you how many people I talk to who just keep tinkering with ads, but their ads are doing their job. It's everything downstream that's broken, but they just keep tinkering with ads when it's not the problem. And they're like, ads don't work. Like, no, they work if you send them to the right place with the right offer and the right messaging. And then, like, this stuff down here is basically doing nothing. Actually, you know what? Fusion anything else, and then last piece, we're gonna make this separate. This will be separate. Last one for now, under the score. Actually, let me start this over. Last one for now, I think around the score, we need more context. Why is it a 30 out of 100? I think we should have bullets or to-dos here. Maybe not. The key performance indicators. I understand these might be populated on autopilot when the meta integration is ready. But right now, it's serving no purpose. Come on, please, did that really not? Test. I think Claude is just struggling again here. Too many things open. I really need to upgrade my machine as well. I'm running on a Mac Mini I've had for a long time. And I think I need to get myself a more powerful machine, considering some of the new stuff I'm getting into. And then I want to be live streaming. I'm going to try to be live streaming a lot more here on the channel. All right, let's see if we can get this to work this time. Now it's pasting it in twice. Oh my goodness. Probably time as well for me to get a fresh chat going here in Claude. This one's getting a little sluggish. Final piece of feedback for now. I think we need context around the 30 out of 100, a little bit more than what we have. Also, right now, the key performance indicators underneath are serving no purpose. I understand they may be populated when meta ad integration is complete, but right now, it's useless. All right, so we've submitted good amount of feedback here. We'll see what it comes back with. It really just wants to keep, there it is, okay. Got it, here's all your feedback compiled, ready to give you master prompt. Yes. I finally upgraded my Claude subscription too, because if you've used Claude, especially Claude Code, I was hitting usage limits on this build particularly fast. I mean, I hit my usage limits in like one fairly quick work session just trying to debug something. So finally went and upgraded. I should have done it a long time ago. Totally worth it. Cool, so we're going to get the prompt here from our directed development assistant. And I think that's probably everything. What's the notification? So it keeps telling me there's a notification, but I can't. Okay, here it is. All right, so I got my Claude prompt. I'm not sure why. So yes, on like my last chat, it would just give me the little copy button. But now it's making me select it all. But we'll wait, let it do its thing. All right. Let's grab our prompt. Yeah, definitely time to start a new chat. This one is getting super sluggish. Oh my goodness. Come on. All right, here we go. I'm going to paste that into Claude Code. While the Claude Code does its thing here, I'm going to get a new chat going inside of Claude. All right, so this chat is getting super slow. Give me a complete handoff document to take into a new chat with full context on everything that we're building, working on, what we've completed, what we still have yet to do, and full context on what we're working out right now and working on right now. Make sure that all decision tree logic and everything is included. Nothing should be left out. So if you don't already do this, this is what you should do when you start a new chat with Claude. Because as you work on a project like this, I've been in this chat all day today. I mean, I think I got home from the gym at like 7, and I think I started in the office at 8, and it's almost 4 p.m. So full work day. I've been on this one chat, and it's done great, but it's time to start a new one. So when you start a new chat, ask it for a handoff document. Basically, what it's going to do is just give all the context of everything to take into the next chat, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to start another chat because then I have to answer all these questions. It's going to leave things out. It's going to have issues, right? Which is totally a viable concern. But you ask it for a handoff document, and then you just grab the handoff document. And it can take a little bit, especially if it's been a long chat like this. And I wish it would just give me the little copy prompt, but it's all right. Claude Code is still doing its thing. Reading code and updating some code. So I'm going to continue to grab all of this until it's done, and then we'll take it into a new chat. Should be able to move a little bit faster. All right, we just hit 1 hour on the live stream. Not first stream on the channel, first stream on the channel 2.0. I've started taking this channel a lot more seriously lately. I've been really enjoying it. It's been growing slow but sure, just like a tortoise running the race. And I really appreciate all of the support. I'm just glad it can add value to people and help people. It's the whole point. But I really want to get more into the streaming aspect here. And there goes my camera again. I really need to fix this 30-minute delay on this thing so it doesn't shut off every 30 minutes. Add that to the list. But yeah, I really want to start doing some more streaming. I enjoy it, and it's just a fun way to get work done and just share the work outside of structured videos. There's a lot of things that I'm like, I want to share, but in like a structured video, it's kind of hard to share, at least in the way that YouTube works. So this is a good hybrid here. So come on, Claude, let me get that last little section. Did it even copy? This chat is just has completely just like crap the bed. So let me see. I pushed it too much. I should have started the new chat a while ago. So ultimately, it's on me. All right, so I'm gonna come in here. I know it's not pulled up, but come into my projects. I'm gonna start a new one. We're gonna paste. All right, it looks like it did copy. Let me grab the brand OS. Grab that. Okay. Now we've got our second chat here. Or our third chat now for this project. Beautiful. Okay. We're going to go SoCap AI 3. All right, so we're already moving a lot faster. Waiting on Meta, immediate work queue, apply master prompt fixes. All right, we're waiting on Claude. Claude is still creating the master prompts. Once that's done, we'll push to GitHub. We'll deploy to Vercel. We'll see how it looks, but let's come back here and look at what I was looking at, which is the notifications. Enough data for reliable diagnosis. You know, 400 in ad spend and 12,000 funnel. So, okay, so this was I think this was like a test one we're doing. So the goal here is that when this Meta integration, again, fingers crossed that Meta approves my app and my integration. But and I know that the stream is kind of laggy right now. Sorry about that. A lot of stuff I got to get figured out here on the streaming. This is really just a test stream. I did not mean to go an hour here, but it's been fun. So once the Meta integration's approved, it's going to pull from the system here the info from Go High Level. It's going to pull the info from Meta. And then it's going to give real-time notifications based on that info. So it will essentially be saying, hey, X funnel just crossed X threshold. Here's what you should do. Hey, X ad campaign just did XYZ, whether it's good or bad. Here's how you should pivot. And one thing, like, for example, hey, this funnel just crossed 1,000 unique visitors. Now might be a good time to consider a retargeting campaign, right? And then someone could go in here, okay, how do I set up a retargeting campaign? Ideally, then the chat would just take over and be like, all right, you're ready to set up your retargeting campaign. And if they have no idea what a retargeting campaign is, it'll help walk them through that. So again, the whole idea here is just that this is a complete diagnostic scale growth system to help anybody, regardless of skill level, interpret their data, understand what to do next. So many people are flying blind and they're paying for all these tools like Go High Level. They're running ads, they're doing all this stuff, and they just are not understanding what to make of the data and where to go, which is totally understandable because it's so much to take in. And there's so many people out there, like so many courses and whatnot, which are great at teaching you the info, but then it's like, okay, like, you know how to, like, you know how to get the plane to take off, but you don't know how to fly it or land it, right? And then people are kind of like stuck in midair and they're like, I don't know what to do. And they start to panic. So this is, the whole reason I'm building this is to solve that problem for the people in my network, the people that I help and that I coach, and the people that would find use of that, because I think that there's just a bit of a gap there. But I'm going to call it here for the stream. This was just a test stream. Gone a lot longer than I thought it would. It really flew by. Really enjoyed it, but my machine's getting a little bit slow. I need to optimize a lot of things and figure some things out, and ultimately probably just get a better machine. I've had this one for a long time. But that being said, thank you to everybody that did tune in. Vibe Code Diary, I don't know if you're still here, but congrats again on the Chrome extension that you vibe coded. Got it live in 2 days and already have 15 users. That is what I love to see. That is what I love to hear. Can't wait till that 15 turns into 15,000, but we're going to call it here. Going forward, I'm going to be live Mondays, 10 a.m. Eastern, doing live builds, and I'm going to try to pop in live a lot more than that because I do enjoy it. Peace.